Should you build your audience or your product first? Stay tuned and find out.
Welcome. Okay, here's the question. You serious? How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph? Come on. Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman.
And push it up. What is up? What is up? What the hell is up, my dark horse friends and family? Welcome back to your daily dose of the chicken or the egg learning. I'm your dark horse host, Tracy Brinkman, and you, well, that, my friend, is infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur, and you are here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, or just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. That's why I'm here hitting you with another daily success episode coming to you straight from the Dark Horse HQ as we dive deep into success with actionable advice, tips, and steps designed to help you level up your game, because you know what? You want to get to that next level, and I want to help you get there. But before we kick this off, I know you're getting the value, right? Yeah, right. Well, okay, I hope you're getting the value from this podcast. And if you are, please go on down there, hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star rating, drop us some kind words in the review notes. You know what? Drop us some unkind words. Just share some advice. I'm happy to take constructive criticism. I like to grow as much as you do, but these subscribes, ratings, and reviews tell those podcast platforms that you are getting some value, and it lifts us up a little bit in the rankings so that we can reach more entrepreneurs just like you. So if you're getting that value, please take a moment and show the love. I definitely appreciate you. So today we're going to take the entrepreneurial version of the chicken or the egg, that age-old question. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? But we're going to look at that a little differently. We're going to look at it, which came first, the product or the audience? Now, I've seen so many businesses, and you see so many businesses out there, they create this grand new invention. Let's say the iPhone, right? And they get their marketing department to put this massive push behind it. They get this great task of making this unknown product known. And they put a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of resources, human resources, financial resources, this huge budget that goes into, ads and infographics and commercials and blogs and testing and just the whole plethora that goes out there in the hopes that the audience is hungry for what it is that they created. And sometimes it works, right? The iPhone took off, did well, but sometimes people just don't get it. They're looking at a product going, yeah, okay, I really don't get it. And I think originally the iPhone started off that way, but then when the message turned around and broke it down to the very simplistic things. If we think about the original iPod, the message was 10,000 songs in your pocket. Well, that's pretty easy to grasp. And you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. I don't have to juggle around all those cassette tapes. I just dated myself, didn't I? Or the CDs or anything else. I can just put it all on this device, carry it in my pocket, and listen to it at my leisure. What's up with that? Right? So, from that perspective, the message helped sell the product. But here's the thing. The audience was already there, right? There were already people hungry for music. People were buying up cassette tapes and CDs and albums and had been for decades, maybe even hundreds of years for all I know, right? So the audience was already there. So I would suggest that it's better for you to develop your audience first. That way, now you may have an idea for the product. Don't get me wrong here. You may have this grand idea like, oh man, I have a great idea for this amazing product. I'm just going to go create it. Well, here's the thing. If you develop the audience first, and maybe even you parallel path it, you start developing your product and you start developing your audience, which is a path that I like to take. Then as your audience grows and you get to know the people that are investing in listening to you, and it could be listening to you on your podcast, could be engaging with you on Facebook, could be engaging with you on any of the social media channels. As you get to know them and the people that are listening to you, the products you're developing can be tailored to their needs as you learn about them. And that way, it's a win-win. You may have a great idea for a product, but as you're listening to their audience, you get an ancillary idea or an enhancement you would have never thought of by yourself. But I think one of the core things here is, if we back up for a second, is you want to choose the right niche, right? Whatever you want to call it, niche, what. But the thing is, you want to, obviously, you've heard me say this any number of times, and I'll continue to beat this drum. How funny is that? I just talked to a drummer in my Monday interview episode. Anyway, I'll continue to beat this drum of choosing the right niche, because you want to be something you're passionate about, that you're knowledgeable about, and that you're going to want to continue to grow your knowledge on, because you're going to want to work on being the trusted go-to guy or gal in this niche, in this industry. You want to become the expert. So as you start building your audience, you're going to focus your efforts on obviously growing a listenership if you're doing a podcast, growing an email list. Obviously, that means you have direct contact. And if, something happens to your podcast, like you say something silly, and they shut you down, at least you still have a way to engage this audience that you've built. And here's the key thing is, as you send out a request or do whatever marketing you're going to get to engage this email list or to build this email list, you want to give them a singular call to action. If you go and look at my website right now, you'll see that the singular call to action is an alert to an upcoming product I have coming out. And anyone that's interested in that will sign up to get on the waiting list so that when it's released, they're made aware of it. It's a singular call to action. If you give them multiple calls to action, the odds are they won't take any action. Another great way to build your audience is to produce content consistently. Let me say that again. Produce your content consistently. It doesn't have to be daily. It doesn't have to be weekly. It could be monthly, as long as your audience knows when they're going to get it. Regularly scheduled content wins, right? If you don't have it regularly scheduled, let them know that there's some sort of hiccup in your schedule. Hey, I'm going on vacation, so you won't hear from me for the next week. Heck, even at that point, you could pre-schedule the content so it continues to come out while you're on vacation. You can still tell them, hey, I'm on vacation, but I'm still going to keep delivering you content. I might not be as engaging as I normally am as a result of not being there to give you the likes and to respond to your questions immediately. But when I get back, I'll do just that. And then I think the next piece of this is the three-legged stool mentality, right? Everyone's all like, hey, I'm going to get on Instagram. I'm going to grow this great Instagram following. And for many folks, it works. You see those folks that build great followings out there. But I think real audiences don't stand on digital alone. Now, I get it, right? It's the new millennia, Tracy. It's 2021, right? Digital is the place to be, but there's also print and there's also events. Now, not as many live events. They're slowly starting to come back after last year of 2020's crazy COVID scare and the shutting down of live events. But certainly you want to have that three-legged firm stand where you've got your digital content going out there regularly scheduled, and then you have maybe some print content going out there on occasion, getting into magazines or newspapers or whatever other print vehicles still remain, and then of course events. Be a guest speaker, heck, be an attendee so that you can network. And then in the events, again, you want to have them focused around your niche, preferably directly, but certainly if they're loosely focused around that. So if you're focused on a podcast, for example, obviously there's any number of podcast-focused events, but then there are other networking events that you could be directed to participate in or be a speaker at, where you can share your expertise about your niche. I think at the end of the day, the real chicken or egg question in this case, audience or product question, for me, it's audience. Your business goals should be focused around a content creation strategy that builds your audience. And then as you have this loyal audience listening to you, devouring your content, asking you questions, raising your hands and sharing their problems and their concerns and their victories. Don't forget their victories. You want to celebrate their victories with them. You'll build that trust. You'll build that expertise. They'll be coming to you. And you know what? As a result of that, you'll create something that they need. And well, let's be honest, at that point, if you're the trusted person that they go to, you can practically sell them just about anything you want or they need. So instead of sitting in your silo or at your desk all by yourself, creating a product out of a perceived need of some type of audience, get out there, build your content strategy to build your audience, to get that input from the very people that you're looking to serve so that you can serve them the best way possible. After all, that's what you really want to do in the end, right? All right, my Dark Horse friends and family, that wraps up yet another amazing week here at the Dark Horse HQ. And look at this, man. Episode 181, we are already sneaking up on the bicentennial episode. I don't know, maybe I'll do something special. I'll think about that over the weekend. Now, I know you want to keep getting all these daily success tips, so make sure you go on down there, hit that subscribe button, and while you're there, please leave us a 5-star rating, drop us some kind words in the review, heck, drop us some words of suggestion, some topics you'd like to hear about, some questions you have. I read them all. These subscribes, ratings, and reviews tell those podcast platform algorithms out there to lift us up a little bit in the rankings so that we can reach more driven entrepreneurs just like yourself. And by the way, hey, don't hold all this entrepreneurial GOLD all to yourself. Share this podcast with other entrepreneurs and business owners you know will get value from it. Then come on over and join us in the Dark Horse Tribe Facebook group. You can go to facebook.com. In that search bar at the top there, type in Dark Horse Tribe. You should see us right there at the top of the list. There will be a link down in the show notes for it. You can just click on that, come on over. If for some reason you want to go there manually, you can go to your favorite web browser, type in darkhorseschooling.com/Dark Horse Tribe, all one word. That should take you right there. I look forward to meeting you in the group. All right, you get out there, you run your race, you get your results. Come on into the group and let me hear about them. I want to celebrate with you. Until next week, think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
You know this.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.